I've been living on the road full-time for 2 years now, and never once have I owned a generator. But in this video, we're going to be powering my camper entirely from my Rivian. The question is, how much is it going to drain the battery in my truck? Let's find out. To kick things off, I set a 24-hour timer and connected my camper directly to my truck. For the next 24 hours, the truck is going to be acting like a generator and powering my entire rig. That includes Starlink, my fridge, charging devices, cooking meals, and pretty much everything else I would normally use throughout the day. It's been an hour since I started the test. I've got the Starlink running, I've cooked breakfast, my entire camper is being powered by the truck. So now it's time to go see how much the battery's dropped in that hour. As you can see, we've used 1% of the total battery in the last hour. It's not too bad considering that I ran the induction top at 900 watts for about 15 minutes as I was cooking my eggs for breakfast. So we'll see what it plays out to be in the full 24 hours. One of the things that I like about this campsite is all the shade that these trees provide. It's 80 degrees outside, but this shade really helps keep the camper cool. In fact, not only do I not have to run my air conditioner, I don't even have to run my fan. The only thing I have to do is open up all the windows and let the airflow come in. It's 82 inside the camper, it says, but it's like super comfortable. Like I can sit in there all day if I wanted to. Sitting here in the shade, it's perfect. The downside is that these same trees are blocking most of the sunlight from reaching my solar panels. The EcoFlow in my truck bed was getting basically zero solar, and the Battleborn battery in my camper was not much better. So while my camper's been staying cool from all the shade, my batteries have been slowly depleting, and that's what gave me the idea to run this test. I already know that I can use the truck as a backup in a pinch. I've done that before, but I've never really tracked how much of the battery it uses, and I figured this was a perfect opportunity to find out. It's been about 4.5 hours since I started the inverter in the truck. I just microwaved a frozen burrito for lunch, so I think it's time for us to go check to see what the battery percentage is in the truck. And as you can see on the screen, we've only dropped 2% in just a little over 4.5 hours, and that's pretty good. We're over 8 hours into the test now, and it's time to make some dinner. So before I start cooking, let's go check the battery status of the truck, because I'm going to be cooking on the induction top again. It looks like we're now down 4% since we started the test. Now let's see how much cooking on the induction top impacts that. It's interesting that I just finished cooking dinner and it didn't impact the battery at all. We're coming up on the 24-hour mark. I just made some oatmeal for breakfast, and after this, we're gonna take one final look at the truck and see where we ended up at. You know, one thing I was thinking about during this test was just how quiet it's been. You know, if I had a traditional generator, I'd be hearing the loud humming all day and night, but I have nothing but peace in nature and just the sound of the birds chirping and the wind blowing through the trees, no smell, and, you know, it's just really peaceful. And honestly, after a while, I even forgot that the truck was powering the camper. That's how quiet it is. So let's go take a look at where we ended up after 24 hours. The results are in. After 24 hours of powering my rig with the truck, the battery dropped from 83% to 74%. That's a total loss of 9% battery and a projected 25 miles of range. Honestly, that was better than I expected. During that time, I had the Starlink running continuously, cooked 4 meals, ran the fan for a bit, and just went about my day like I normally do. One thing worth mentioning is that my truck typically loses about 5 to 6 miles of range per day while parked. So not all of that 25-mile loss is from powering the rig. I was really surprised on how little battery it actually used. Seeing the actual numbers after a full day of use definitely gave me a better understanding of what this setup consumes in the real world. Now, obviously, I didn't run the air conditioner during the test, and that's important because it would likely have a big impact on the results. But honestly, I rarely use the air conditioner anyway, and I was more interested in understanding what my typical day-to-day consumption looked like. If you'd like to see where the adventure takes us next, hit that subscribe button and come along for the ride as we roam free, explore more, and spread good vibes along the way.